leaders teach that Messiah died on Friday at noon and rose from the dead on Easter Sunday morning, but it does not add up to 3 days and 3 nights. For those who believe in the Easter narrative taught in Christianity, they are choosing to believe the traditions of men to honor a pagan deity. The celebration of Good Friday and the Easter Sunday resurrection is a tradition that is not rooted in Scripture. What's sad is that even those who do not profess to believe in Messiah can see the contradiction. This article from HuffPost says, just how long did Jesus stay in the tomb? It says, as Christians worldwide prepare to celebrate Easter, they will follow a familiar chronology. Jesus was crucified on Good Friday and rose from the dead on the 3rd day, in the words of the ancient Nicene Creed. But if Jesus died at 3 p.m. Friday and vacated his tomb by dawn Sunday morning, about 40 hours later, how does that make 3 days? And do Hebrew scriptures prophesy that timeline? Even Pope Benedict XVI wrestles with the latter-day question in his new book. He says there is no direct scriptural testimony pointing to the 3rd day, the Pope concludes. The chronology conundrum is a bit of a puzzle, said Marcus Borg, a progressive biblical scholar and co-author of The Last Week, a book about Holy Week. But Borg and other experts say the puzzle can be solved if you know how 1st century Jews counted time, and grant the 4 evangelists a little poetic license. In other words, they need to twist scriptures because the pieces of the puzzle is not fitting. It does not add up. So the Roman Catholic Church has perpetuated a lie that does not line up with Scripture. Believers swallowed it hook, line, and sinker, even though the numbers do not add up. Let's dig a little deeper. We will read an excerpt from this book, In the Papal Church, written by W.J. Wilkins. The author is talking about Easter Day, so he wants the reader to understand the origin of the holiday and how the Roman Catholic Church and European leaders blended the two into the day now celebrated as Easter Sunday. So he begins by saying, in other Christian lands, this is known as the Passover feast, it being held at the time the Jews observed their great festival to commemorate the deliverance God wrought for their forefathers. How is it that it bears another name in this country? The early missionaries found that our ancestors had a great feast at this season. They rejoiced in the victory spring had gained over winter, and that the time had come for the budding of the leaf, the singing of the birds, the manifestation of renewed life. This feast bore the name of Easter and was connected with the worship of Baal and Astarte, as some ceremonies still observed clearly indicate. On their conversion to Christianity, the older festival with its familiar name was retained. The God of heaven was substituted for Baal, and the people were taught to celebrate the resurrection of our Lord in addition to the return of the spring. That the worship of Baal was at one time prevalent in this country, the following account of what takes place annually near Christ will show. A number of men and women assemble at an ancient druidical circle of stones at Baltair. They light a fire, and each person puts a bit of oat cake in a shepherd's bonnet. The people, blindfolded, draw a piece of the cake from the bonnet, one of which has been blackened. Whoever draws this has to jump through the fire and pay a forfeit. This is part of the ancient worship of Baal, and the person thus chosen by lot was previously burned as a sacrifice. Passing through the fire represents that, and the payment of the forfeit redeems the victim. So the first thing you need to understand is that Easter was a pagan holiday. It is always on a Sunday to honor the sun god. It should not be surprising that the Israelites did not celebrate Easter. They celebrated Passover, a feast day to commemorate their liberation from slavery in Egypt. In other words, it was a day of remembrance, and yes, the early believers kept this feast day. To learn more about this topic, please refer to the link in the description and join me next time.